What up? What up? What up? What up? We are now beginning Full Profits Podcast. This is another episode of Clean Breaks. Congratulations to the Scotsman, Josh Taylor, for a successful campaign and win over Jose Ramirez at 140 pounds for the undisputed championship of the world. So salute to him. I'll give him all the credit. He came out there. He did everything that we said that we knew that was gonna. Let me ask you a question before I even go further. Does that even how do you even feel like? Because I know when I know I'm on my shit, I just be like, okay, you did it. Now what? It's
Yeah.
just like it played out the way we expected it to play.
Yeah, I think for him, just listening to what he says, looking at his energy, I think he's looking forward to the big fights. I saw a clip. I think it was Ellie Segback who said did an interview with with Bob Arum, and Bob said he already has another fight lined up. He has a commitment with another. I think a UK fighter or something like that.
James
That he has
Cottrell
lined
or
up.
something like that.
Yeah, that guy. So he's got to fulfill that obligation, and that's going to be. He said, I think Bob mentioned Glasgow. Probably going to be now that he's unified, undisputed world champion, 140 pounds. I think he's the second Scottish fighter to ever do that. So it looks like he's going to get a home going. Yeah, he's going to get a fight.
First, I think.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yep. So he's going to get a home fight. So that looks like that's his next fight. It won't be Crawford. So really the biggest question out of all of this is who Crawford's going to fight.
Oh, no.
I'm going to keep going there. I'm going to keep going there, bro. I'm going to keep going there. I'm going to keep going there. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why this is all like peep game on this. Bud ain't fighting to September. He's going to face the winner of Ramirez and Taylor. So why would you say Bud gonna fight the winner of Ramirez and Taylor in September if you knew he already had an obligation to fight somebody else, most likely in Scotland or somewhere over the UK? You knew that was his next fight regardless.
Yeah, because James Cottrell had already, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, Cottrell or however, apologies for that. However, the dude stepped aside so this fight could happen.
Exactly. So he's not going to step aside again, especially not with a title shot.
No.
Right? For all the belts. So he's taking this fight.
And the only way I step aside is if you pay me well.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm him at this point, I'm not stepping aside because if Taylor takes another fight somewhere, it couldn't be a fight at 140. The only way I step aside is if he can retain all the belts and he would move up to another division, maybe like 147 and fall Bud. I might step aside for that and take a nice payday. Because then if he comes back to 140, then he's got to come to me next. And that way I get a chance to get the belts if I'm this Cottrell guy, whatever his name is. So,
But we both know that if he goes to 147, he's not coming back down.
Exactly, which is why Cottrell ain't taking no step aside money. He taking the fight.
Yeah.
Too much to gain. To gain.
Absolutely. And you get the look, right? You get to be seen.
You gonna get the exposure.
Yeah.
Because you got the unified junior welterweight champion of the world. It don't matter. He could be like Canelo. He could fight tomato cans. People are gonna go cover that fight.
Oh yes, sir.
I mean, that actually is like a Canelo fight. They just follow. It doesn't matter who he fights. They're gonna follow it.
And it works out because now I guess Flop Tank gets to make some money in the event that they actually make the James Cottrell fight.
Yeah, but here's the problem though, bro. Who Bud fight? Bud is their number one fighter, not Fury. Well, it won't even be Taylor. He can promote Loman checking all these guys, but the guy with the best numbers, the guy with the best numbers signed the top rank is Bud Crawford. So who is Bud Crawford going to fight?
Well, we may know he's not only their best fighter, but their biggest cash cow in a sense. Yeah, the biggest draw. He's kind of like the forgotten guy, like nobody's paying attention to him. And because you're in a position where your promoter or owner doesn't want to put up the type of funds it takes to get you a big fight, you're kind of like the guy that like everybody's just looking past. I don't see, it's almost like he's just becoming, invalid at this point. I don't even know what to say anymore, man. Like this shit is it's
Yeah.
sad. It's disappointing. It's
Yeah. I hate to
disappointing.
say that he's irrelevant. He's not irrelevant.
He's
He's
not, but
just
he's
not.
getting there. He's getting there.
He's just not. He's not top of mind when it comes to making stuff happen. But he's top of mind when it comes to stuff not happening. It's so interesting that the two guys that people waffle back and forth on the pound for pound list being the top are him and Canelo. And to me, they're both making kind of, horrible choices and not taking, big fights with the best competition.
Preferred choices. Horrible too, but you know how that goes. We're gonna walk you along. We're gonna
but
walk you along.
To me, this is and where's Porter, man? I mean, to me, if you bud, you kind of gotta fight Porter now. I mean, Porter, or he could do. Now that Spence is going to try to go for Pacquiao, well, he's signed with Pacquiao. Now Bud can go try to snatch a belt and get Ugas. Now is that a big fight? No, but he can say I got 2 belts and you got 2. Same thing with Ramirez and Taylor just did, and say 2 belts to 2 belts. I don't think it's going to help him in the negotiation, because if Spence does big numbers and beats Pacquiao, I don't care if Crawford could have 3 belts and Spence just 1. It won't matter. So
if the Pacquiao fight, the Pacquiao fight is signed from what we understand.
Yeah.
So Errol says, see you in July, whatever it is. See you at the fight. So he goes in there and he does a spectacular job against against Manny Pacquiao. Errol does a spectacular job against Manny Pacquiao. Who would care? Who would care? Like, there's no way you're going to get this big percentage of a fight. How?
You say there's no way anybody would care if Errol beat Pacquiao? Is that what you said?
No. After he beats, and especially if he does it in spectacular fashion, like he puts Pacquiao away and sends him on his, on his tour on out of here at the game. Like at that point, people would just look at Bud like, look, you just got to take whatever's left because you haven't done anything.
Well, here's 2 things. Ugas can probably fit the top rank budget. Let's keep it real. Sean Porter is going to be more expensive. He could say, again, it's almost like the Canelo joint, right? 20, 30 years from now, people aren't going to think about the details of this like we are. Ooh, I was not only was I undisputed at junior welterweight, but I was unified at minimum. I was unified at welterweight. So does it excite us, him versus Ugas? No, but I mean, from an accolade standpoint and from a stay busy fight, at least a credible dude, somewhat, who is not over the hill or who's not completely beaten down past their prime, he would get some credit for taking on Ugas. I think that's who they're going to try to get, but it's chess, not checkers, and I think PBC is going to be like, not so fast, my friend, not so fast.
It's just sad to me, man. Like I'm a person who loves the skill set of Bud Crawford. I think he's a great fighter. I really do. I think he takes chances. He's a dog in the ring. He's cut from that cloth of give nothing. You know what I mean? Or give it all at the same time. But it's just sad to see that he's in a situation where there is nothing in front of him where you can say, this is a good look for you. And your promoter is basically making sure that he's not doing a job of making sure that there is something in front of you. It seems like his whole purpose right now was to make the Wilder Fury fight. And he's been happy ever since then. Anyway, moving away from that. These guys fought last night, Taylor and Ramirez. So here's part of my thing about it. Around 7th or 8th round, Josh started going forward instead of backwards, instead of lateral movement. And Jose Ramirez did nothing. Did you pay attention to that? Like around 7th or 8th round.
Yeah, I think Jose had trouble with Taylor's movement for sure the whole night. His foot movement, lateral, coming in and out. Taylor was doing a beautiful job catching him when he was coming on the way in, and I think Jose was tentative. What I noticed, the reason why the biggest issue Jose had the whole fight was he didn't use his jab. You got a 3-inch arm arm length advantage. You 72 inches, the other guy 69. And it's weird. I think it was about the fifth or sixth round. You saw Jose popping that jab out. He would just hit Taylor constantly in the face. Taylor was taking it, maybe trying to get him, lure him in, set him in. But he was popping that jab, and I'm like, man, if he just jabbed his way in to get to where he wants to get to the body, he could have made that fight a lot tougher for Taylor. And I think he actually probably could have even had a chance to win that fight had he used his jab.
Yeah, but like you were saying, it was like 3 jabs in a row he threw, and I think all 3 connected, or 2 out of the 3 connected. And I was like, wow, why not just continue to do that? Like, throw him off.
Exactly.
Taylor was too experienced for me, and he was too daring. Like, he was daring to be great in that fight. He saw what Ramirez was, and he didn't let him get to the position that he wanted to. Like, he used all the tricks in the book that he knew to take advantage of the situation, and he prevailed in it, man. I think it was a very good job by Josh Taylor. I salute him for it. I salute the Scotsman for that. It was an excellent, not excellent. It was a really good performance. That 7th, 8th, or 9th round, when he had Ramirez kind of like thinking about what he was doing, and Josh was so close to him that he could like almost breathe on him, and he wouldn't throw punches. I was like, man, he done took his heart from him, man.
Yeah,
he took it.
He was hurt. Those knockdowns took something out of him. That pull counter he did for that first knockdown, he didn't see that punch coming. He kind of had his head turned, maybe anticipated, but he still didn't see it. And he got clipped right on the chin. And then obviously on that break, when he got caught with that uppercut, he didn't see that punch coming either. And that did a lot of damage, because when he fell backwards, his head snapped backwards and back of his head hit the canvas.
It looked like he saw both of them. He just couldn't get out the way of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looked weird, man. It looked like he didn't see them. He didn't react well to them. The other thing is, I give Taylor a lot of credit, but what was going on in Ramirez's corner with Robert Garcia? There were no adjustments made. Where was Robert Garcia saying, all right, man, use your jab your way in? Because he was predictable. It was coming in, earmuffs on, high guard, and then just trying to whale hooks to the body.
Yeah.
And Taylor was able to either keep the distance coming in and out, or he was coming in and smothering Ramirez's power and his ability to get extension and really get to the body. And I think Ramirez was shocked at how good of an inside fighter Taylor was. He was a lot craftier, sneakier, grimier, actually, than Jose. And it's not that Jose doesn't have the will or the skill or the griminess to do it. He just didn't make the proper adjustments. I'm really shocked that Robert Garcia didn't see that, because on the outside, all he had to do was just jab. Like, literally, the jab upstairs and the jab to the body changes the entire fight against Taylor if he does that.
That and the feints, and I don't. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know, but it didn't look like Jose was cutting off the ring. It looked like he was following him around at times.
Yeah, I didn't see him. That's where he had trouble with the movement. I could tell. And Taylor did a good job with the movement. It's almost, again, I don't want to compare him to him, but it's the similar effect that Pacquiao has. You'll see him bouncing, and you don't man he's going to come in, but Manny tricks people because you think he's going to hop in, and he'll slide laterally and find an angle. Taylor wasn't bouncing and it's like a jumping being like Manny. What he was doing, he was coming clean. He was coming in and out really, really well. He knew Jose was looking for those body shots, so he kept popping that uppercut. And he was setting him up for a lot of counter shots. And so Jose got gunshot. But here's the thing, though, because you're throwing power punches, use the jab. Use the jab to get your way in that occupies a guy like Taylor. He didn't use the jab. He didn't move the jab. To me, the jab, I mean, again, people think Errol is basic, but that one punch right there is what makes Errol Spence what he is. He never abandons the jab.
You're halfway home. You're halfway home if you got a jab.
He never abandons the jab. Even if you got a slick fighter, guys quicker than Errol, guy can do all these things. He never abandons the jab. And, Jose abandoned the jab, and his corner didn't press that on him to use the jab and jab his way to get to the inside. And he got out slicked, he got out fought, he got out boxed.
Man, I mean, hell of a performance by Josh. Hell of a performance. Like he used a lot of skills in his toolbox to make sure that fight went his way. The roughing him up, like you said, being grimy, like getting Jose frustrated. Showing that you're not just a tall fighter. I'm a tall fighter. You're not just an aggressive fighter, but I'm a grimy. I know how to fight dirty too. I know how to get on the inside. And I know how to frustrate you. He used everything to his advantage. He was even talking to him, and then you could hear the ref telling him, "Hey, stop all the talking and everything." Like he used a lot of the tools in his box to make sure that he got the win, and there were no adjustments that I saw made to counter any of this stuff, man.
No, and I also think they thought Taylor was soft. I don't think they thought Taylor was as gutsy and gritty as he is. They didn't do their research, and I'm really shocked that Robert Garcia didn't have Jose prepared to understand that you're not just gonna well a couple body shots and that guy's gonna crumble. You're gonna have to break that guy down and beat him. And so Jose wasn't able to do it. He didn't use the jab. He was very predictable coming on the inside. He got caught with a lot of unnecessary shots. But Jose, a true champion. There was the fight. Some of those rounds were very close. He put forth a lot of effort. He just really couldn't string any punches together. And back to the movement, I noticed what Taylor would do is he would get cornered, and then what he would do is he always constantly had Jose worried about those counter shots. And Jose was afraid to come in there and get it. And also Jose always left the side door open. He never cut him off. Like you said, he followed him into the corner, but he didn't cut the corner off. So he wasn't able to get Taylor where he wanted him. And I think that was another huge tactical mistake that I'm shocked that they weren't, they knew they wanted to get to the inside and punish him. I'm shocked that they didn't practice on cutting the ring off. I'm really shocked.
Like we said, pre-fight, right? The day before, Jose Ramirez has problems with boxers.
Yeah, and southpaws.
Yes. Facts plus tax. Shout out to Ike P. He has problems with those guys. So when it started going the way it was going, I was like, oh shit. This is where he has to come. He has to make the ultimate sacrifice and say, all right, I know what this is. I've seen this too many fucking times before. This guy's a little bit better than those guys, and I need to step it up. Mm-hmm. I don't know what was going on in that corner, like you were saying. It just seemed like they were okay with what he was doing. And they were like, well, at some point, we will break him down. We're going to break him down. We're going to break him down. And if you see the guy continuously moving, and like I said, you got to cut the ring off. Like, that's something that I thought would have been practiced over and over and over again. I thought that's something that would have been worked on, where you make sure that this guy can't leave the corner without taking 3, 4, 5 shots. Even if it just hits his arm, his elbows, or his forearms, or his bicep, he just gets hit. And you didn't see any of that. No adjustments made.
Now, what you heard was Robert Garcia say, fight for your people, be a Mexican. And it's like, that's not advice that's going to help anybody. We know he's Mexican. He knows he's Mexican.
Yeah.
But, the other guy is a man too, and he's in there to fight, and he's in there prepared for war. And you got a guy in there that's prepared to go out on his shield. It don't matter if you're Mexican, Scottish, Black, no matter where you're from. It's you and the other guy in that ring, and you gotta bring it.
Because at that point, he already knows I'm fighting for the Scottish. I'm fighting for my people too. I gotta go home.
Yeah. And that's what he said. He's got some legacy. He just secured his legacy too. So I'm really shocked that they didn't do that. And he's got some good sparring partners. They got some good guys in that camp. That's a really good gym. I'm just shocked that that they were ill prepared in those areas. The jab, and I know the thing with Robert Garcia. I notice a lot of his fighters when they fight southpaws. Same thing with Mikey when Mikey fought Errol. But it's different with Errol because Errol was a bigger guy, had the reach. Even if you got short arms, you still got to jab your way in to get on the inside. And that's what Mikey wanted to be. But they abandon the jab against southpaws. All his fighters never use a jab against southpaws. One thing I'm shocked that Robert Garcia didn't notice is usually the orthodox jab is not as effective against the southpaw, even though you still need to use it. The difference is Taylor doesn't fight like an Errol Spence. his hands were very low. He was there to be hit with the jab. And when Jose threw it, he hit him with it. I'm really shocked that his fighters don't pick up those little nuances. Use a jab when the guy has his hand down, because the jab is your front arm. It's the closest in straight line to the guy. If the guy's got his hands down, you got to flash something up there.
There wasn't a lot of right leads coming from him too.
No,
like I didn't see any right leads.
The reason why there was no right leads is because Taylor's left was quicker than Ramirez's right.
That's true.
He couldn't deal with the speed. And he was getting countered. And that's why the jab was more important than the straight right hand, because the right hand comes from a further distance, is not as quick. He needed to use that jab to occupy Taylor to allow time to deliver that right hand, and he never did it.
Correct, but you can feint the right hand, or you can set the right hand up like it's the power punch, and you come back with the hook, or you come back with the jab. And these are all things that I didn't see.
Fundamental. Yeah.
These are things that we know, like, I need to close the space and cover the distance. I need to do these things.
The other thing he never did is he never brought that left hook upstairs. I didn't see him throw a left hook the entire fight. If you're an orthodox fighter and you fight in the southpaw, one of the best punches you can throw besides throwing a straight right hand is the left hook.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially if you catch it at the right angle when he's trying to step around, when he's trying to vacate the corner, you could have caught him to the head or the body.
And especially with a guy that has his lead hand low. Taylor fights, his lead hand was low. That left hook would have, either he would have had to, parry it or move, or either he'd had to bring his right hand up, which then would give you the body. You could feint upstairs and go down low. It was just so many things I saw that Ramirez could have done that he didn't. Yeah. And I know he had problems with the speed, the footwork, all this and that, but he didn't even try. So to me, that just says that they didn't have a good game plan. They just thought they were going to be able to go in there and bum rush Taylor. They thought they were going to be able to crack Taylor.
It reminded me of the Mikey Garcia Errol Spence fight. Once he got in trouble, he didn't do anything to kind of change the outcome unless Errol let him do it. Like, all right, why don't you come forward a little? Let everybody see you get your little G off. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do.
Well, with Errol, I think he just had no chance. He was just outmatched in.
He was, but there was a couple instances where Errol was like, all right, you can come forward and throw your little, 1, 2, 3 punches and everything, but I'm gonna go back to the center of the ring and I'm gonna teach your ass a lesson all over again. So again, congratulations to Josh Taylor, man. First or second Scottish fighter to be undisputed in the history of the sport at 140. This is beautiful, man. So what do you think Jose Ramirez goes from here? Because I don't think he wants to stay at 140 either.
I think Jose stays at 140.
You think he stays at 140?
Where's he going to go 147? There's not a lot of he's not going to fight Virgil Ortiz, who's a stablemate. Virgil Ortiz is at 147. Mikey Garcia is not coming down to 140. Mikey Garcia is at 147. He's going to pick certain fights or whatever. I don't see Jose would love to get to 147, but he's being blocked. The other thing is, who does he fight? I mean, you were just unified junior welterweight champion. You just fought for undisputed. Yeah, you lost.
I know who I would like to see him fight.
But at 140, who would you like to see him fight?
I would like to see him fight at 147. Boots. 147. At 147.
We both know that's not going to happen. Robert Garcia can pump Virgil up with all that nonsense all he wants to. He knows whoever out of his camp is at 147, including Mikey, including Virgil, including Jose, would all be food for Boots.
Hey, Jose Ramirez, why don't you go ahead and take that fight at 147?
No, he's not taking that fight. Jose Ramirez is almost at the point in his career, like in the sense of Josecito Lopez. They want either title shots or they want bigger paydays, right? The whole let me grind my way through it. Give these guys credit. They've grinded. They want opportunity. They want a title opportunity.
Yeah.
Or they want a big money fight. So obviously he can't get the title fight. I mean, a guy, if I was him, I would try to target maybe a Keith Thurman or a nice rugged fight would be him and a Sean Porter.
No. If he ain't gonna fight Boots, you ain't going against that machine. No, that's a buzzsaw.
True. It's just that he's a smaller buzzsaw, and I think again he can make the mistake. I think Porter has the advantages, but I think again Jose knows Porter likes to fight on the end. I mean, Porter likes to fight on the inside, even though Sean has switched it up a little bit, a lot of movement. This and that. The movement will really, bother him. But I mean, I'm saying it's a possible fight. He's not going anywhere near Boots. Keith Thurman would be a guy, because Keith Thurman, we know, can't take it to the body, can't take a lot of punishment. He's there to be hit. He's tentative. So
but don't doubt Keith, because remember now he's more of a counter puncher at times too. Like he likes to throw very accurate, hard shots. And from what I saw against Josh Taylor, if you hit him right, he'll back off, and that's just what Keith will love. That's just what Keith will love.
I agree. I still would like to see that fight out of all the welterweights. I think that's a matchup that can go for him. But either way it goes, I think he's staying at 140. I think he has a back to the basics fight after this fight, an easier fight, something that somebody's going to be favored over. It's not a whole lot of comp at 140. And other than that, it's just a matter of, one of these guys with a name that's down at 135 want to come up to 140 and face him.
Do you think a guy like Regis Prograis would try to get that fight against Jose Ramirez?
I think a guy like Regis would definitely try to get that fight. The problem is Regis is not with PBC, right? So again, you had this whole PBC top rank issue. Again, has PBC and
Regis is not with PBC, or he is?
No, Regis is with PBC. Regis is with PBC. Okay. To me, again, I see this fight building. I got Regis fighting Tank. I think Regis and Tank fight after Tank fights Barrios, and probably Regis picks up and fights somebody. I think those two are more headed on the collision course, and that's obviously an easier fight to make because they're both with PBC. I don't see Al and PBC doing Bob any favors. Because giving them, because they got a bunch of 140 pounders over there, giving them Regis or anybody else. I mean, probably the only guy PBC will offer up is Hooker, but he already knocked out Hooker and beat Hooker. So,
yeah.
Hooker is the PBC food. They just send Hooker out, and I think Hooker's going to more so come in and settle down and get a better fight where he's going to have an advantage and probably settle in as a gatekeeper or a guy who maybe tests certain prospects if he wants to keep, getting paydays. But no, I think Jose stays at 140 and we'll wait and see what happens. I even heard Robert Garcia afterwards saying, he was asked, is he going to move up to 147? Robert said he doesn't struggle with the weight. He makes 140 easily still. So, you can pretty much tell what's up with that.
We'll see. Salute to Jose Ramirez, man. I was expecting more of a fight, but sometimes certain guys just have your number, and that night, Josh Taylor had your shit dialed in and was calling that motherfucker the whole fight. So
yeah. Styles make fights. This is why people say that styles make fights.
Yeah, and this was genuinely one of those, genuinely one of those. Again, just to reiterate, I really thought that he would have done more by cutting off the ring, and he didn't do that. So maybe I have to go back and watch it again. Maybe I got it wrong, but it just didn't look like he was. It looked like he was more following.
No, you didn't get it wrong. We just went over it. No jab, no cutting off the ring, following him. No left hook. And then he just had to fight. Like you said, he had to fight beat out of him. Once he got knocked down and got caught, he just had to fight beat out of him.
Yeah. Anytime I see a guy walk forward, anytime I see a guy walk forward and he's in your wheelhouse or you're in his and you don't throw any punches, that lets me know that he's taking a fight out of you and he can pretty much just do what he wants at that point. If that had been a more dangerous fighter like a Jerome Boots Ennis or a Crawford or someone like that, they probably would have tried to knock his head off at that point.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to see a lot of guys know that they have the advantage at that point and then not step on the gas.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, who else can we talk about on this part of the podcast? Because I didn't see the other. Oh, salute to Kenneth Sims. Everybody, he took out took out Gonzalez, who was supposed to be a top prospect.
I think Elvis Rodriguez.
That was a top prospect. Yes, he's a top
prospect. That's trained by Freddie Roach, and he took it to him. Elvis needs to get a right hand. He's all about that big straight left, and he needs to get a jab. He really needs to work on his offhand. He needs to work on his right hand. His right hand is way behind.
It's always,
if he's gonna
to anybody listening, it's always good to have a deep toolbox. You want to have a plethora of weapons, a myriad of weapons that you can choose from when your strongest punch isn't there for you. You need to have just basic boxing. You need to be able to counter punch. There's just things you should be good at, and you just can't just be great at throwing a right hand or a left hand. There are things that you should also include in your toolbox. We all know Miguel Cotto for having a great left hook to the body and to the head, but his right hand was always suspect. You know, like he didn't do much with the right hand. Even when he did, like you would go, oh, okay, well, he caught the guy because the guy didn't expect it at the time, but we all knew him for just having that left hook and a good jab, mainly because he was actually a southpaw who was converted to an orthodox fighter. But guys,
I mean, the guy we can say that really about is Deontay Wilder. I mean, right? Just that straight right hand. And you look at Malik training him, and what do you see mostly? Work on that left hand. You see the jab, you see the hooks upstairs, you see the hooks to the bodies, you see him feinting more.
Yes.
You're seeing him adding other things to his repertoire for two reasons. And you know, fighters should know this, and you know this, you tell them better, is that two things. You have to develop your entire skill set because it's going to only enhance your strong suit, right? It's only going to help you deliver your strong suit, your favorite punch. The other thing is, if you're fighting against a really good fighter, what if they take your best thing away? What if they take something away? Now, what are you going to fall back on? You know, it's like anything in sports. You know, if they take away your right hand, you got to be able to go left. You know, so it's the same thought process. And hopefully, you know, the Bronze Bomber can get that together with Malik and Camp and get some work on that left hand and give Fury something else to think about, because, you know, that changes the complexion of the fight.
Countdown, pimp.
Yeah.
Countdown.
Can't wait for that one.
That's July,
Fury,
right?
Fury, yeah, it's July. Fury talking big shit. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, he full of confidence. He's really talking. You know, hanging out with Shaq in Vegas, hanging out with all the celebrities.
Mainstream media, you are doing a very good job of acting like none of that shit ever happened.
Yeah, they are. See what I'm saying? Yeah.
You're doing a very good job of acting like none of that stuff ever happened and sweeping it under the rug. Good job, but we know better. We watching, we looking, we see it all. So I wish the best for Deontay Wilder. I said this years ago. I said if someone fights him, pushing him back, or making him go lateral, he's done, because he doesn't fight lateral. He doesn't fight going back. Even the simplest of the basic skills, even counter punching and things like that, you just didn't see it. And I always said that. And it's not to say that I'm gloating or anything or boasting or bragging about the situation he's in, but just to know that, like, you got to have more than a right hand or a left hand. You have to have this very deep toolbox, because, again, like we just stated over and over again, what happens if you don't have it that night? What happens if you hurt your right hand that night?
Yeah, exactly. That happens a lot in fights. Guys hurt their hand. You know, and if you, again, like I said, if you're fighting a above average fighter, even though he's a cheater and a fraud, in my opinion, Tyson Fury can still box his ass off. He's still a very good boxer.
Absolutely.
Which is why it's even more of a disappointment that he felt the need to cheat. Dude, you got the skills. Just you 6'9", 280 pounds, 270 pounds. Just box. I mean, what other advantages do you need?
I've been going back looking at tape lately, and there are some fights where he was worried when one of the refs would grab his glove and check the glove, and you could see in his face that he was kind of worried about that stuff. I've been paying attention to it, and I never did, because I was like, man, this dude can really box. Like, he's a really good boxer. Yeah. The only thing really I kept saying, I just kept saying, what's wrong with his fucking gloves all the time? You know, and then I went back, and one of the refs was saying, he's like, hey, I think they had them take the gloves off in one fight, and they had to put a new glove on because he said there was something wrong with the glove. But ultimately, you lost your license with the BBBFC in the UK, so you can't fight there no more. It's not just you tearing up the license; you can't fight there no more.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's why I don't understand what they're saying with him and Joshua. What were they going to fight? That's why they wanted to fight
Dubai.
In Dubai, because they can't fight in the UK.
That's the crazy part. Like, people was like, "Oh, you would make more money." No, you won't. How would you make more money there
No.
than you would in the UK at Wembley Stadium with 93,000 sales out easily? So I'm sure they would get up to 100,000.
In your country, in your time zone, we could put it all on Sky TV, right? It could all be right there for everybody to see. They would make hella money. And it's crazy that, again, he's a fighter from the UK. He's called Vegas his home now. But again, here's more BS from the mainstream media. Why did nobody ever say, damn, that would be a big fight back home for you? Oh, why can't he fight at home? Nobody talks about that.
Things that make you go, right? Things that
Yeah.
make you go, like they get on there and they let him talk all this big shit and everything. And that's cool. You won, but you didn't win the right way. But
one thing I noticed that was funny.
Thing.
Tim and Andre was awfully quiet.
No, they weren't quiet. They took them off. Remember, it was just Tessitore, Kriegel, and Fury. Yeah. They took them off the set.
Right. They took him off set because remember he crashed the set. He crashed on the earlier side.
Yes.
And he said what's up to him, and they looked at him. And I think, look, yeah, they carried the company water, but I think they know what it is. And I noticed when he came, they weren't sucking his nuts like Tessitore and the other cat. They weren't doing that. And then when he came back, obviously they cleared the set. I think they know what it is, and I think deep down inside they're like, man, I hope Deontay knocked this motherfucker out.
I bet you they are. I bet you
they're thinking that. Yeah. So I mean, because those guys are both professional boxers. They know he fucking cheated. They know he cheated. They're not dummies.
The doctor himself said there is no way that Tyson Fury could have hit that man with that glove and dented it inside of his head. Now you can cause brain damage, yes, of course, during the course of the fight.
Yeah.
But to dent that man's head in like that, no.
Yeah.
And then the shape of his head was,
like an object. It looks like an object.
Yeah.
Like a rounded, weighted object.
Yes. Something similar to like a horseshoe, to me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It looked like
I was thinking almost like a brass knuckle.
That too. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
think that's why he was trying to cover him like this. I think he had it around. See, people talking about his fist. The thing was floppy. I think he had it around his wrist, and that's why he was slapping on the side. I think that's what he did.
Could have. Look, I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's awfully uncanny and suspicious that the way it all went down, and they don't mention it. They love to call somebody the motherfucking champ, but they don't question anything that happened for him to get that. But I want the Bronze Bomber to make sure that he has greased the wheels. He's worked on all these things that we know he needs to work on, because this next fight, this is, like you said, it's retribution. You got to let this motherfucker know who he's playing with. I don't like the fact that certain individuals work very hard to get to a certain place in life, and then others are allowed to just be able to cheat and get away with it. The same thing with Cotto and Margarito. His whole career should be an asterisk, because we don't know how many times that man was using loaded gloves. We don't.
Yeah.
He marked up Cotto's face very, very badly. Bleeding from the outside of the lip, from the inside of the lip. Like, it was just crazy to see that. And during the fight, I was like, yo, something is wrong. Like, he's cutting up crazy.
Yeah. Because Margarito cheated.
Yeah. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about it, because you would think if someone is in his corner, they're watching you wrap the gloves. Apparently, there's a way to distract you or something, and these guys not seeing it. And he was using plaster Paris. So it sucks, man. And I'm glad that Cotto got his retribution for it. But I'm even more happy. Yeah. I'm even more happy that when Shane Mosley fought him, he told him, I don't give a fuck what he got in his gloves. Tell him to come to the ring.
Yeah.
And Shane Mosley beat the brakes off that man. I was so happy when I saw that.
Him and Pacquiao. I enjoy watching Pacquiao beat the brakes off of him too. Pacquiao gave him a beating.
Pacquiao did it first, right?
I think so, yeah.
Pacquiao did it first. He had that eye flopping around. That shit looked like it was growing his own city on the side of his face, man. But
and what's so funny is everybody kept saying, "Oh, Floyd ducking Margarito." No, Floyd was smart, because Floyd knows who's cheating.
Absolutely, Floyd hears it all. He
knows who's cheating.
Absolutely, man. This whole cheating thing, man. That's why they definitely need a was it a labor union or actual governing body and a labor union to help these guys out, because the sport is so fucking dirty, man. You can lose your life at any fight. There are guys who are fighting for $500, $200, and they're going home. Some of these guys are going home beat up, with concussions and contusions, and they don't have much to depend on. So a lot needs to change, man. And I hope it does very, very soon. I hope all these guys, like, I don't understand what's taking them so long. This sport is like 250, 260 years old. Like, what's taking them so long? It's money there, though. Like, all they got to do is throw it all together in the pot.
Yeah, but they want it fixed. They want it fixed.
Sad situation, man, for a sport that I love so much, man.
Yeah, it is. But somebody always, trying to figure out a way to cut a corner and cheat, man. That's just what it is.
That's a fact. So next week we got Devin Haney versus Jorge Linares.
Yeah, I got Devin Haney by decision.
I have Devin Haney by decision as well. Yeah. I think that Linares will come out and try to show him a couple things, and try to win a couple rounds and try to show Devin what he's dealing with. I feel like he may try to push Devin back at some point, but I think the overall boxing acumen of a guy like Devin Haney, even though he's young, he's to me, he's just a pure boxer, and I think he will just overcome. He's young, he's talented, he's ferocious at the same time. He's not like the hardest puncher, but I think he'll come into this fight healthy, and I think that he'll show some things that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I think what we're going to find out from Devin is two things: how gritty he is, because Linares is going to make this a gritty, maybe even sometimes dirty fight to because he's going to need to slow Devin Haney down. He doesn't have the athleticism or quickness to stay with Haney, so we got to slow him down. So I think I think you're going to see some low blows. I think you're going to see some rapid punches. I think you're going to see some roughhouse tactics. I think Linares is going to throw the kitchen sink at him, and we have to see if Devin can, deal with all of that and keep his cool and stay on top of his game and execute. The second thing I think we're going to find out from Devin is has he developed his power, right? And delivering his power, because if Linares gets the hint that you can't hurt him, he's at the point in his career where he's got to go for broke. Like if he loses this fight, Linares is kind of like getting into gatekeeper territory.
Yeah.
If he loses this fight, so when you gatekeeper, it's not there are no more big paydays. So unless you get some really, really unique prospect that comes up that's got a bunch of money behind them, so I wouldn't wait around, hoping on that one. So I think he's gonna try to come for it, and I think Dev is going to be prepared. And at some point, Dev is going to have to fight in the pocket. He's going to stand and deliver, and he's going to have to figure out how to hurt Linares to get that respect.
Yeah. From what I saw, it looks like that's part of the stuff that he's been working on, and I'm very happy. The thing about Linares was that he said right before the fight with Loma that Loma had never fought nobody like him and everything. But every fighter says that, and when I heard him say those same type of things about Devin, I was just like, well, you're saying that, but we all know that that's just good for talking on TV. Dev is in the gym with a lot of different guys. Like he's in there with Mike McCallum, Mickey Bay. Salute to Mickey Bay and Mike McCallum. He's in there with like all these top guys. He sparred with Shakur Stevenson. He sparred with.
He been in Mayweather gym, dog. He been in Mayweather gym. He done did Doghouse, man. Ain't nothing Linares gonna bring that he ain't seen. So I'm not even like.
What haven't he seen? Like, I don't get that part when fighters say that sometimes. I could see if he saw, like, if you were like this big puncher or something like that. That's the only thing that I don't think that he's been in front of. But I feel like Dev will figure out a way to neutralize that as well. But as far as Linares, I expect him to dig deep in his toolbox just to show Dev what he has. I just think that the ultimate boxer and competitor in Dev will get him where he wants to go.
I think he's gonna make the same mistake that Jose Ramirez made. I think he's coming into this thinking, I'm the stronger, bigger guy, and I can bully this guy and have my way. And I think he's gonna make that mistake, and I think he's gonna get clipped. And it's just a matter is, will Dev plant those feet and sit down on a punch to hurt him, or is he going to be up on his toes and just, pot shot him and pick him off and coast if he's going to do that way? I personally want to see him plant those feet, sit down on a punch, and turn it over and do some serious damage, because Linares is definitely there to be hit. He's going to come at Dev. He's not, he's not an elusive fighter. And I think Dev is going to have to earn his respect, man.
Yeah, I think the speed of Dev will show, the hand speed. I think the hand speed and foot speed will be a very big plus, because at times when I watch Dev and he knows that he has that, he smiles at you like, yeah, you don't even know what's about to happen. So and for what I understand, he fought Gamboa with one arm because the right hand was the right shoulder was messed up. So if that is true, then he will be a more complete fighter this fight. I like Linares. I think this is a good fight. I expect it to be more of a chess match than anything, but I think at some point Dev will figure it out. He'll figure him out.
Yeah, I think Dev is going to win the chess match, and then I think Linares is going to have to just go for it. And that's going to give Dev the opportunity. And like I said, Linares, that was the issue with Loma. He couldn't handle the speed. And so I think if you have issues with Loma's speed, you're definitely going to have a problem with Dev's speed, because to me, Dev is has faster, quicker hands than Loma. And he's, taller and longer than Loma. So I just think that is going to make for an interesting fight. And it should be interesting, man. It should be interesting.
Yeah. What do you think? So what other fights outside of Linares, like who has the belt? He has the WBC, and Teofimo has the other 3 belts, right?
Well, Teofimo, I don't know. First, how he's trying to respect Wilder, and Spence and Pacquiao. I don't know what's up with his thing. He's got the Cambosos thing. Supposedly, he's saying, well, he wants. I think his dad, they got smart, said we want Dev next after this fight. So, do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think it's smart for him to face Dev now? Yeah, because Dev is only going to get better. So, to me, if you're going to get him, you better try to get him early, before he grows into his grown man strength. Tio, I think his power is what it is. He's already just kind of there. Dev, to me, hasn't peaked yet. So it'll be interesting. So, obviously, Teofimo's an option. I don't even count Ryan Garcia, comes back.
Welcome back, Ryan Garcia. Welcome back.
Well, we can't say that. Welcome back to what? He's not. So he called out
sarcasm.
Yeah. Duck that one. I know I'm being sarcastic back. Duck Dev.
Ducked his own fight that he wanted to set up Fortuna.
So he wanted Fortuna, then duck that. Now he's coming back, and who was he fighting now?
Some guy named Adidas or Nike or something. I don't know.
Something like that. And there was rumors he was going to fight Rolly, and we know that's not going to happen. So it's like
that's what I heard. That's what I heard. He was
that's what I heard. But I don't think any of that's happening. I don't think Garcia is coming back. I think Garcia is trying to figure out whether he wants to be, Jake Paul, or he's like, damn, I should have did that. I can actually box a little bit. I should have did like a Jake Paul and just been on YouTube with all my Instagram followers. And because he wants to be more Hollywood star than he wants to be a fighter, in my opinion.
I just wanted to be a social media star. I didn't want to be a boxer for real.
Yeah.
I put my foot in my mouth on Mike Tyson's podcast, and when I realized I did it, it was too late.
Yeah, it was too late because you can't play boxing, and so he was playing, and caught up with him. So who knows what his situation is? No matter what happens, he ain't fighting nobody legit anytime soon.
I think so. Off of him, I think Devin Haney, if he wins this fight in good fashion against Linares, I think Teofimo fighting him would be a great fight.
Yeah. I
just give the edge to Dev because now he just took on another great fighter. No, nothing to take away from Teofimo, because he beat a guy that everybody considered to be like one of the greatest fighters in the history of fighting ever in the world.
Right.
Whatever that means. But
so
he learned something from that too.
Yeah.
He learned something from that too. But I feel like this will be something that pushes Dev into the direction of knowing, okay, now I know what this is right now.
Yeah, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I mean, I would lean towards Dev personally, but objectively speaking, right now in their careers, based on who they both fought, not even seeing Linares fight yet, and not seeing the Kambosos fight with Teal, it's a 50-50 fight. I think it's a great fight. So, I mean, out of all those guys in that group, I think those are going to be the only two actually fight each other. Ryan Garcia is, AWOL, and Tank is, doing a little. It's got a little Canelo on it, but with better competition, right? I'm gonna pick and choose. I'm gonna fluctuate up and down. Oh, I like this Barrios matchup.
Yeah, but you know what he's doing? He's trying to wait it out at the 130, 135. I think the 135. I think he's trying to wait it out and see what happens.
Well, wait what out? Go in there and make it happen. I mean, Dev is there, he's the WBC champion. Tail was there. You can fight. Tail got all the other belts, so fight one of them.
Teofimo ain't gonna fight no Tank Davis.
Teofimo will fight Tank. I think Teo for that payday. That's a payday. Tank is a payday.
That's a very big payday.
That's a payday, and I think if Teo would fight Kambosos on Triller and get outside of top rank, he would definitely do it with. He would fight Tank, and I think he would think he'd have the advantage over Tank. I think that's a 50-50 fight, but I think he would think he has the advantage. I think it is a 50-50 fight. I think Teo
don't.
I know you don't. I do. I think Teo learned a lot from the
Loma fight.
From the Loma fight. The other thing is, again, my only concern with Tank, and I think he's great, is Tank he will take some punishment to deliver that one big shot. But Teofimo was a much stronger puncher than Leo Santa Cruz. He can't, the same shots that Leo hit him with, he can't be taking those shots from Teofimo. So
I know.
I need to see Tank. I need to see a fight where Tank doesn't get hit as much, because he's got these other guys and he's taking shots and he's lining them up for this one big shot and killing them in spectacular fashion. And Tank can box. Don't get it twisted. I just want to see a fight against a guy that's at a level that is really trying to hit him, and Tank is making him miss, and then he delivers the shot. Not boom, boom, boom. Okay, even though you hit me this third time, you're gonna have your head right here, and I'm gonna kill you with this left hand. I'm gonna murk you. I want to see the other subtleties of the game. And when I see that, then I'll feel better. I know you think he can do it.
I get you.
He can. I just want to see it.
I just
want to see it.
Yeah, but the thing about Tank is that's why they call him Tank. Like,
yeah,
I don't like, if you can't hurt him, he'll take them shots. Yeah. And then
Teo can hurt him though. I think Teo has the power to hurt him.
Teo can hurt him, but the thing about Teo hurting him is you have to be aware of what's coming back.
True, you do have to be aware of what's coming back. I agree with that.
And remember, like you said, the kid can box.
He can box. He can box. Teo can box. Again, I think right now all these
Tank
guys,
can
even
box.
Dev and Tank, I think that's a 50-50 fight. These are all, to me,
yes,
with where they are, they're all 50-50 fights.
Yes.
As of right now.
The only thing about Tank for me against Teo is no one has made Tank do anything outside of what he's comfortable doing right now. Even when he hit Leo with that uppercut, everybody's like, oh, he threw that with power. No, he didn't. That was accuracy, precision, and speed. He didn't throw like everything into that. He just threw it.
No, he didn't. He just threw it. He just let his hands go, and it was just a great technique. And it was speed. The speed equaled the power, and he caught him. It's a sweet science. He caught him exposed with a shot he didn't see coming.
Yes.
And he was 100% accurate. He hit the target bullseye.
Yes.
That's what Tank is. Tank is really good at doing that.
Speed is power. And in that situation, he delivered it very well. But no one has made that man box yet. And until they do, this is what we're going to end up seeing from Tank. Tank is a hell of a boxer. Like, people don't know that. They don't see it, but it's because no one has made him box yet. And if you listen to him when he's doing like post fights away from like all the cameras and everything, he has already said this. He said, I was told not to play with my food. If you guys can't go in there and do anything to stop me from doing what I do, then I'm going to get you out of there. Until somebody makes me box and makes me sit down and think about what's going on in the ring, I am going to try to come in there and knock your head off. And that's what he's been doing.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I like the moves. I'm not criticizing. I like the moves that they're making because I think Barrios again is a bigger, more athletic, stronger Leo Santa Cruz. I still think he's gonna finish him. Don't get it twisted.
It's just crazy
I
that
got
he took that. Like, why that guy out of everybody?
because it lines him up for if he finds the right matchup he wants at 140, it puts him in position because
Yeah,
Barrios is a regular champion.
yeah,
And so I think it's all about positioning. You know, I mean, come on, he's with he's with Floyd. Floyd's the king of positioning.
yeah,
So he's just positioning himself, and it's just it's a right matchup. And again, here we are with Floyd, Mexican, black. You
yeah.
know, Floyd loves that because he knows that makes money. It's still in boxing. That is the top, money maker.
Yes,
You know,
yes, yes.
have them hate you. And you see what I mean. You see what he came out with against Leo Santa Cruz. He came out in the whole fucking sombrero
Yeah,
to mariachi music. So
yeah.
we've seen this. We've seen this play
Episode.
before.
Yeah, we've seen
Yeah,
it
we've
before.
seen this play before, and that's the play that's being run right now. Is the
I was
rerun of
listening.
Floyd.
I was listening to Leonard Ellerby, and he said we didn't make this fight. Tank. He said Tank wanted to fight. He said we didn't
Yeah,
ask.
Tank did.
We
Yeah,
didn't want him. We
yeah,
didn't want him to fight him. He said
yeah,
Tank said he said I'm the promoter. He said I do what Tank
yeah.
want me to do
And
if
and,
it
I,
works
and
out.
I know exactly what Tank sees, and I'm gonna make a prediction. Tank is gonna knock Barrios out with the same punch he knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. He's gonna knock him out. I'm telling you. I think there'll be multiple knockdowns. I think he's gonna knock him down initially with an overhand left. Because he's gonna go to the body. He's gonna feint, come down, and come up. I think he's gonna knock him down that way. More body work. I think Barrios is gonna lean over, and then I noticed Barrios' jab is very similar to Leo Santa Cruz. Very similar. They really get that extension and they leave it out there a long time. It's not the jab that comes and retracts back quickly. I'm noticing Barrios makes that mistake. It's a mistake Leo made, and I think he leaves that out there. We know tanking his timing, and Barrios throws a lot of double and triple jabs. And I just see Tank saying, okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm loaded. Boom.
And it's gonna be a lot of body for him to hit too. It's gonna be a
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a
lot of
lot of
body.
body. And I think that's where he goes to the body. And I think, that's when I think it's the upstairs is gonna be open with the overhand left. And I think that's when he gets the knockdown on Barrios with the overhand left. And then I think Barrios is gonna be so worried about the overhand left and he's taking punishment to the body. He's gonna lean over and he's gonna try to keep that distance to keep Tank off of him. And what's the number one punch you're gonna use to try to keep it off? You're gonna use the jab, but I know he leaves that jab out there for a long time. And he's a little sloppy with it. And I think, get responsible with it. You saw what happened to Santa Cruz.
Whew. Lights out, buddy.
Exactly. So that's how I see that fight going.
Yeah, should be interesting, man. Should be very interesting. I think I'm done, man. You got anything else you want to discuss?
No, I'm good, man. I think this is it. Other than we gotta start an episode of like a Where's Waldo episode. Where's Bud? I mean, again, I'm not trying to ride Bud. It's like Bud is great, man. It's like he deserves so much better, and I'm just so irritated. A guy with that skill set and that ability, and he's a dog, and that he's just not being he's not positioning himself the right way, or either he's not being positioned the right way. It just hurts me to see that. Just like it's like the Lakers game today. It pained me to see AD take so many damn fadeaway jump shots. You 6'10", 6'11", hell, you just had 42 points and how many rebounds on DeAndre Ayton taking them to the cup. But now all these 3-point shots and these fadeaways, bro, take that shit to the cup.
Like, how did you forget about that part of the game?
And so that hurt me watching that. And I'm a basketball guy, so that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it, man. That's how I feel about Bud. It's hurting me that they're making moves that are just don't make sense.
Yeah, when you sent me that picture, man. And then I went and checked because I had to check, like, yo, let me go check real quick. And I saw Arrow posted. I was dude, I would be deflated or just upset. Like, how the fuck is he getting all these fights that I want?
Did you hear Bob? Did you hear Bob say so after the fight yesterday? They interviewed Elliot Sayback interviewed Bob. Said, Bob, what do you think about the Spence and Pacquiao? Well, when we had the fight, we had it in Dubai, the money, and he made all these excuses talking about it. Then of course, what Bob does. He deflects. I call it actually he genuflexes because he genuinely deflects. So he was like, well, Spence, who you got? You never count Manny out, but Spence should be a huge favorite. He's trying to make, trying to build up all the pressure on Spence. Oh man, he's older. He's 42. Oh, Spence should. If he's who he say he is, it's just hilarious. Like, okay, bro, you worried about what Spence doing? What
No,
about
he's trying to
Bud?
he's trying to downplay. He's trying to downplay it.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah,
He's
he got
trying to
that
downplay it.
outmaneuvered. Yeah,
And then on top of that, again, where's Bud fight? Because you said you want to go to Dubai. From what I understand, Manny asked for a price, and they said, "All right, cool, we can do that."
It wasn't never any investors, and it wasn't never any fight, man. That was all hogwash. That was all smoke. And and the other thing is, somebody needs to ask him. I thought you said the winner of this fight was going to fight Bud, but that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. So who is he?
So technically, see, I think he thought Ramirez. I think he wanted Ramirez to win because he thought Ramirez was going to end up fighting Bud because Ramirez has been calling Bud out. I think that's what he wanted, but Taylor upset that. And see, I didn't know Taylor had the other obligation to go fight this other guy, the Cattrall guy. I had no idea. So it's like, damn, Bob, you be lying. You be misleading niggas, boy. Like,
I don't think anybody knew about the other guy. I don't think anybody knew about him.
So now, okay, if Bud's supposed to fight the winner in September, who was he gonna fight? So now we look at Bud. It's like, okay, you got to fight in September, bro. You got to fight in September. Who are you fighting? Who are you fighting? What you gonna do? Ibis Kalvanauskas again, or who you gonna give us? What retread you gonna give us? You gonna give us? I don't know. Give me somebody. Kell Brook is gone. You gonna go to the retread list or
Chris Algieri?
Chris Algieri. Well, Chris Algieri is back down at 140. Chris Algieri not at 147 anymore. He's at 140. So a good one though. That's a good one. We know he ain't going to give Boots a chance. He seems to not want to give Porter a chance. He said Thurman priced himself out. So to me, they're going to try to make a run at Ugas. What you're going to hear is Ugas, and you're going to hear Virgil Ortiz Jr., and it ain't going to be neither one of them. It's going to be somebody who you and I have not just thought about, but we both know, and we're going to be like, damn, he fighting that dude. Damn, boy.
Yeah, we're going to have to look at the WBO rankings and throw thumbtacks or darts at these motherfuckers because we don't know who he's gonna end up fighting.
Well, it ain't gonna be nobody in the WBO because he don't have a mandatory. I think he did his he should have a mandatory, but Bob owns the WBO. So if you look at it, you got
the mandatory Virgil, right now would be
Virgil, but he ain't gonna fight Virgil, bro. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna. I think that's the fight that Robert Garcia. They're gonna be really pushing that one. Is Virgil.
Hey, Bud, if they put him up there, you might as well just go ahead and knock the kid off his pedestal. You might as well just do it.
Yeah, to me, that's his best option. His best option is Virgil because, like you said, with PBC, man, he might as well wait before he fights Sean and the PBC guys if he comes over to PBC.
But the crazy part is,
I don't have no faith in that.
I don't even think Sean priced himself out. I just think that what Sean said was legit. Yo, you can't offer me $1 million to fight after I done fought Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence. Like, I made money fighting these guys.
Well, they didn't want to fight. So here's my thing. When you make a guy an offer, there's more than one way to get out of something. So if I'm selling you a car, let's say I'm selling you a 2021, I don't know, Range Rover, because you really like Range Rovers. We know the market value of a Range Rover, but I'm like, nah, bro, I'm trying to sell it to you like it's got a Mansory kit on that motherfucker. I'm like, no, I need $380,000. You're not going to buy no Range Rover for me for $380,000.
No.
Probably Mansory or not. The whole point is that Sean didn't price himself out. You can make somebody such a lowball offer that they're not going to accept it just so you can say you made an offer so you can avoid it. He don't want to fight Sean Porter because he doesn't want a war. He likes these troublesome 2-3 rounds, and then he can hit a guy in the perfect time and land a punch, and the fight is over. That's what Bud wants. Bud doesn't want a war. Porter will be a war. Porter is not going to go out like what's his name just did. The Brit just did. Kell Brook. He ain't going out like that.
No,
and I just think Bud don't want that type of smoke. he don't want that taken. He don't want to leave that piece of him in the ring with that fight. So he's completely avoiding Porter. They're not going to pay Thurman. And so to me, it's going to have to be Virgil. It's going to be Verge.
It ain't much else out there. Ain't much else out there. That's just sad to me that somehow Kavaliauskas was your mandatory and you fought him, but you won't fight Sean Porter. But like you just said, he don't want that type of
Well, you know, Bob, both of them was cool with it. Sean was cool with not fighting Bud, and Bob is like, no, man, we not doing nothing with PBC. We're not going to get a belt away. If you're going to lose this belt, you're going to lose a belt where I'm going to make the most money. And the top guy that you can fight, we can make the most money is Errol Spence. He was cool with him fighting Errol Spence because that's the biggest money fight. Bob is thinking about himself. If you lose, where am I going to make the most money? You know, I can't have you losing to Sean Porter. If you lose to Sean Porter and the belt is gone, now we have no leverage in the entire 147 weight division. Now that's all PBC. You know,
horrible.
And he didn't want that. Yeah, that's how they're thinking, bro. That's how they're thinking.
Horrible.
So yeah, I guess it'll be Verge, man. And Robert Garcia was talking big stuff, saying Verge is ready right now. He can beat him, and he'll make the same mistake with him like he did with Jose Ramirez against Taylor. They'll miscalculate.
Yeah, I will love that. Keep coming forward, young fella. Keep coming forward.
Yeah, and if I'm Virgil, I'm like, nah, I'm good. My one big fight that I'm gonna have somewhere down the line, either 147, 154, it's gonna be Boots Ennis. I know we're gonna run into each other because of our ages, so I think I'm gonna leave Bud alone.
Well, go ahead and get your first taste of it by fighting this guy, fighting Bud.
Yeah, I mean, he probably would take it. It'll be a good payday, and it would give him a chance to give him experience.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely give him a better resume than Boots, because I mean, between the two of them, that would have been he would have fought the best fighter, best competition.
It would,
and it always helps. So,
but I'm just saying that because you know you will gain the experience, because I don't know how long it'll last, and if it do go the length of the fight, it's only because of Bud. It's only because of Bud that you go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that could change the trajectory of that fight is if Verge can take some punishment and also find a way to dish it out. And then it's just a matter of who can end up doing the most damage. That's, to me, is going to be his best bet. He's not going to outbox Bud. He's going to have to try to like overpower him and walk him down. But we both know Bud he'll walk you right into that buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm. Set you right on up.
set you right on up. But if you can take the buzzsaw, and eat it and spit it out and keep on going, then
that's a different story. But
that's a different story. But until I see it, I'm not gonna believe it.
Oh yes.
But, that would be that'll be most likely be what would end up happening.
Well, man, that's it for me, man. Salute to Josh Taylor once again, man. Jay, I appreciate you. This is another episode of Clean Breaks. We have witnessed history in the making. Legendary fight for Josh Taylor, who he beat Jose Ramirez for the 40-pound undisputed title. I know Scotland is loving it. The UK is probably loving it as well. That's it for me, man. Clean Breaks episode with Jamie. And we out this mofo.
All right, boy. Peace.
Yeah.